Hello friends, my name is Dr. Shrejin Jindal and I'm part of the Life Sciences Outreach team from the University of Liverpool. We aim to spread interest in the life sciences including zoology, genetics and biochemistry. And today we will be looking at anatomy. I know it sucks to stay inside because of the virus, but believe me, this is the safest thing to do. And today, while staying inside, we're going to learn about the digestive tract. We're going to learn how the food that we eat gets converted into the energy that we need to survive and finally converts into poo that we flush out in the toilet. It sounds disgusting, but the process is pretty cool, and we're going to learn about it today. During this presentation, we'll have a few quizzes, so you can pause the video, put your thinking hat on, discuss it with your family and friends, and return to the video whenever you feel like. So feel free. Let's dive in. What is the digestive tract? The digestive tract is a collection of organs that breaks down the food we eat in order to have energy. The main organs are stomach and intestines. I think we should start off with a quiz. Talking about organs, what is the largest organ in our body? Is it the skin? Is it the large intestine? Or is it the brain? I think the large intestine gives it away with the name, doesn't it? But is it the largest organ? Oh no, it's not. It's the brain or the skin. What do you think? What covers the most area in your body? It is the skin. Skin is actually the largest organ in our body. If you guess that correct, you deserve a chocolate. Well done. So what does our body need? The digestive tract breaks down the food that we eat. But what food do we require? What does a balanced diet mean? Our body actually needs 6 essential types of nutrients, which are fats, proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and last but not the least, water. Did you know that 60% of our body is actually filled with water? Yes, we have more water in our body than anything else. Interesting fact, right? So what happens to the food? Did you know the food that we eat is too big to be of any use in the form that we eat it in? This is where the digestive tract comes in. It turns our food from not very useful to actually very useful. Anything that our body is not able to use or process becomes waste and exits the body in form of poo or urine. We are very familiar with that and we don't like it. I know. Oh, look at this. It's time for another quiz. Put your thinking hats on and let's dive in. How long does it take for the food to pass through our body? Is it 2 hours, 10 hours, 48 hours, or 30 minutes? You can pause the video here and discuss the answer with your family and then come back to the video again. Let's make it a little easier, shall we? Oh, so it's not 10 hours and it's definitely not 2 hours. Is it 48 hours or 30 minutes? I think we got it right. It is 48 hours. Well done if you answered it correctly. It takes about 2 days for the food to pass through our body. So let's break it down. What happens when we eat the food? It enters our mouth and we chew it down into small pieces using our teeth. But did you know we've got 3 different types of teeth, which are incisors, canines, and the molars? So incisors are the teeth in the front that cut the food into small parts. Then canines rip it apart and turn into finer food particles, and the molars in the end grind it and mix it with saliva to make a paste which is easier for our digestive tract to process. Did you know that we produce about 2 pints or 2 soda cans worth of saliva every single day? We learn something new every day, don't we? So, when the food goes from our mouth to the stomach, this process happens via a long tube running from the mouth known as oesophagus. The food moves along the oesophagus due to gravity and muscular waves known as the peristaltic waves. This oesophagus essentially skips the whole part of the body where our lungs and heart is placed and moves the food straight into our stomach. And when these peristaltic waves don't function properly, we get something known as hiccups. We don't like that, do we? No, we don't. From the esophagus, the food moves into the stomach, and here it's mixed with acid, which is called as the gastric acid. The gastric acid is very dangerous and it kills almost all the bacteria to prevent you from getting ill. There are more enzymes in the stomach which continue to break the food into small pieces. Did you know that our stomach is a muscular bag which can expand if you eat more food? We know that happens when you get an extra slice of cake or some chocolate at the end of your dinner. I think it's time for another quiz. Yes, it is. Grab your thinking hats on and let's answer this question. How long does food stay in our stomach? Is it 1 hour? Is it 3 to 4 hours? Is it 10 hours or 30 minutes? Let's make it easier for you. It's definitely not 1 hour, and we knew it was not 30 minutes. So is it 3 to 4 hours or is it 10 hours? Have you made a decision? Let's see the answer. It is 3 to 4 hours. And if you guess that correct, you deserve a chocolate. But don't eat all the chocolates today, save some for later. After the stomach, the food moves into the small intestine. This is where the last breakdown of the food occurs and nutrients are absorbed in the blood. Did you know that our small intestine, even though it's called small, is actually pretty big? It is about 7 meters long, which is at least as wide as a football post or thrice the height of a normal human being. I don't know why it's called small, isn't it? In the small intestine, the food gets mixed with bile, which is a liquid produced from one of the organs. Can you guess this organ? Refer to the picture on the right. Have a look at the organ. We have not talked about this yet. I can give you a little more hint. It's very big organ and red in color. Did you find it? Yes, it is the liver. Well done. Liver produces bile, and there are further enzymes which are produced by pancreas called as amylase and protease. And all of this mixture with the food and the enzymes is known as chyme. After the small intestine, the food is absorbed by the blood, and this is how all the nutrients travel to different parts of your body and make you carry the vital functions such as making your heart beat, functioning of your brain, keeping you alive, moving, giving you the muscular energy. That's all happens because of the small intestine. After the small intestine, the food moves into the large intestine. Here, it stays for about 19 to 36 hours, and all the water is absorbed from the food into the blood. Feces, also known as poo, are compacted together in the last part of the intestine, known as the colon, and finally is excreted out of the anus and into the toilet. Oh, here is the last quiz of the day. For the final time, put on your thinking hats on and let's answer this. How long is the large intestine? Is it 1.5 meters, 5 meters, 3.5 meters, or 7.5 meters? We know that the small intestine was pretty large. So is large intestine small or is it even larger? Let's make it simple for you. It's not 5 meters, and it is definitely not 7.5 meters. So is it 1.5 meters or 3.5? I think you found the answer. It is 1.5 meters. Well done if you've answered that correctly. Raise your hands if you've answered all the quizzes correctly. Oh, there are a couple of you. That's great. Very well done. So today we learn how the food gets converted into poo and gives us energy in the whole process. The food we eat from the mouth, we chew it into small parts, transfer it through this massive pipe called as oesophagus that moves the food into the stomach. Then the food is broken down in the stomach with the muscles and enzymes and moves into the small intestine. That's where the last part of food breaking down happens and all the nutrients get absorbed by the blood. Then it moves into the large intestine. This is where poo making happens. Not so nice, but I know. This is where all the water is removed and the food compresses and becomes poo, and we finally flush it into the toilet and move on. Did you enjoy that? That's how the digestive tract works. I hope you learned something fun today. If you did, raise your hands. I can see some of you did learn something. Well done. That's what we're here for. But the second part of this would be even more fun. So now we're going to learn how to make poo. I'm not talking about the one that we produce in the toilet. I'm talking about the fun poo with daily household items, which my colleague is going to show. So bye now. See you soon.